No, ma'am.
Please ask her to join the class. Okay, but see, Meghna, because you missed the initial few slides, just see here, same thing like what we have discussed. The length of ureter is 25 centimeters, diameter is 3 mm. This now course is being divided into this pelvic part, abdominal part, and this is the pelvic cavity, that is the pelvic part. Okay, there are some better pictures in this PowerPoint. That's the reason I kept this. See here, actually anterior relations, everything is shown here when you compare with the previous picture. So anterior relations, see this is our ureter, which is of course like this. So you are finding parietal peritoneum, right gonadal vessels, second and third part of the duodenum. You can see so clearly. This is our ureter. Okay, so these are the right colic vessels and these are the ileocolic vessels, root of mesentery which is cut and terminal part of the ileum. Okay, so this is the anterior relations. Then left side, because these relations only will be confusing when you write in your exam. Left side, the relations are again parietal peritoneum, left gonadal vessels. Okay, then these are left colic vessels, sigmoidal vessels, and apex of the sigmoid mesocolon. Okay, the apex of sigmoid mesocolon from your textbook, it looks like this. This is the apex of the sigmoid mesocolon, which is crossed by the ureter. Okay, what are these blood vessels? Abdominal aorta, isn't it? Left common iliac, right common iliac, external iliac, internal iliac. Okay. Pelvic part is now, see here, I told you it is moving like this, no? So pelvic part, how many further parts it has?
3 parts.
3 parts. First part is moving across this greater sciatic notch and ischial spine. See, this is the ischial spine. Okay. We see the course of ureter. Once it, see here we had our abdominal aorta, here external iliac. So its course is initially lateral, downwards, forwards, then it is moving towards ischial spine. From here the journey is downwards, forwards, medially to pierce the urinary bladder. Okay, that is. Pelvic part, I told you this is extraperitoneal, I told you, Hemata, you asked me, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the second part, which is oblique. Okay. And see, this is the pelvic part, intravesical part. See, 2 centimeters long. You can see how it is piercing the wall of the urinary bladder. Okay. What is the name of the muscle in the urinary bladder? I told detrusor. Detrusor muscle. Okay. So these are the 2 openings of the ureter. Okay. And I told you we have valves guarding the backflow of urine. Okay, actually, are you finding there is one ridge here? Actually, this I will discuss again when we discuss the urinary bladder. This is one ureteric opening. This is one more ureteric opening. The connection between the 2 ureteric opening is actually called as interureteric ridge. Okay, interureteric ridge, also called as bar of Mercier. MER, CIER. We will discuss again. Interureteric ridge or bar of Mercier. Okay. So this actually pictures are little better. So this actually I want to repeat once again. So relations of the pelvic part, if anything, see in females this is little important. Anteriorly it is covered with peritoneum. See the course, this yellowish part is ureter. Okay, and we know it is retroperitoneal. So in this picture, can you see this is ovary? In this picture, I'll give you the orientation. This is actually uterus. Okay.
Ma'am, we couldn't hear all of that you told us now. Video got stuck.
Video got stuck?
Yes, ma'am.
What slide you are seeing on the screen?
Yeah, relations of pelvic part.
So can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Now.
This is uterus, beta. This is fallopian tube. This is ovary. Now ureter is passing anterior to ovary or posterior to ovary?
Posterior.
That's what. In females, it forms posterior boundary of ovarian fossa.
Okay.
And what is the name of this tube?
Fallopian
tube. Uterine tube or fallopian tube. That means it is going behind the fallopian tube or uterine tube. See the course. See, this is the uterus. This is the fallopian tube, this is the ovary, and our ureter is going behind. Okay. That is. So it is now ureter is actually behind, it is related to internal. That means if you lift the ureter, what are the structures behind the ureter? We will see internal iliac artery, its branches. Correspondingly, we will see internal iliac vein. This is our ureter. Okay, behind we will see internal iliac artery, internal iliac vein, and we will see the lumbar and sacral plexus. Together you call it as lumbosacral trunk. This point is sacroiliac joint. Okay, these are the posterior relations of the first part. So many relations are there. That's why ureter comes as a question. Okay, slowly you try to understand. Okay, posteriorly, that means if you lift the ureter, it is related to internal iliac, okay, artery and also vein, lumbosacral trunk and sacroiliac joint. Medially, suppose this is ureter, medially the ureter will be covered with peritoneum. Very simple. Okay. Now first part only is continuing. The one which is moving towards the greater sciatic notch. Laterally, see this whole yellow part is ureter. Different directions we have taken. This is female. Because first you should get the orientation. What is this? Actually, no, this is male only. Urinary bladder we are finding. And then we are finding rectum anal canal. This is common iliac, isn't it? External iliac and then internal iliac, isn't it? So you see ureter is coming like this. External iliac, internal iliac, common iliac, external iliac, internal iliac. So it is crossing the common iliac vessels. Okay, that means laterally it is related to these structures like obliterated umbilical artery. Okay, that means these are the remnants what we have seen when we were doing peritoneum. Okay, it's also related to certain nerves like obturator nerve. In the blood vessels here laterally you will have the obturator vessels. Okay, inferior vesicle and middle rectal artery. In females it will be related to uterine and vaginal arteries also. These are lateral relations. To show so many relations is of course difficult only. I could not get much pictures. Okay, then but when you do dissection, definitely you will see in the dissection hall. Okay, so many relations laterally you will see. So obturator nerve will be seen, obturator blood vessels will be seen, inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery. Okay, and in females we will also see the uterine and vaginal arteries. Okay, so we can see like here obturator nerve is seen. This is our ureter, isn't it? So inferior vesical artery is also, I put one box to show you. Okay. So inferior vesical artery is there, obturator artery is this. So all these, at least 3 you can write for lateral relations in the first part. Okay. Now see here. I hope now you got the orientation of this picture. What is this? Is the posterior aspect. What bone is this? What is the name? ये कौन सी bone है बेटा? हंसराज. पीछे. हाँ, ये नीचे की bone. Sacrum. What is the name of this bone? Imad.
Pelvic bone.
हाँ, meeting point of 2 bones.
Pubic symphysis.
Very good. Pubic symphysis. Okay, behind pubic symphysis, what is the name of the bag we have in both the sexes, male and female?
Urinary bladder.
Urinary bladder. In case of females, what is the organ in between?
Uterus.
Uterus. Behind what do we have?
Rectum anal canal.
Rectum anal canal. So you got the orientation now, isn't it? This is actually pelvic diaphragm. This I will discuss later. Perineum and all. This is pelvic diaphragm. So orientation of picture is pubic symphysis, urinary bladder, uterus, rectum anal canal. And of course these muscles are like obturator internus and all you studied previous images. This is our common iliac, external iliac, internal iliac has so many branches. The superior vesicle, inferior vesicle, all those. Okay. That is uterine artery. All those branches will come from here only. So this white in color is ureter. So it is crossing all these structures. Okay. Crossed by the uterine artery also. I told you uterine artery should not be mistaken for ureter. Isn't it? So that second part is oblique, and it is to show you levator ani. Actually, this whole muscle is actually called as levator ani muscle. Levator ani. Okay. So it is actually running lateral to the levator ani muscle and its fascia. Okay. And in males, can you see it is crossed by this ductus deferens or vas deferens? Above and medially, in males it is crossed by ductus deferens. Below, we can see it is situated above the seminal vesicles. This I told you very well when I was discussing male reproductive system. So that means below ureters we have seminal vesicles in simple words. And here you have the plexus, vesical venous plexus. Okay. So this is again different pictures. If you are really concentrating and following my PowerPoints, you will actually answer also. This is pubic symphysis. What is the embryological remnant which is continuing as median umbilical ligament? N. Nagpur. Median umbilical ligament. Eureka I said. This bag is urinary bladder. Okay. What is this bag? Uterus. Yeah, uterus. This is fallopian tube. This is ovary. This is rectum. This is anal canal. This is sacrum. Here peritoneum is intact. यहाँ पे peritoneum है. Here you have removed the peritoneum, isn't it? You are seeing the muscle of urinary bladder. What is the name of the muscle?
Detrusor.
Detrusor. Then are you finding muscle which is forming pelvic diaphragm? Just now I have used this word. ये सारे तीन visceral organs एक झूले पे बैठ के झूला. It's like a hammock where these three organs are resting. Okay, this is actually formed by levator ani. The name of this muscle is levator ani. Okay, and our ureter is moving like this.
Whole pelvic diaphragm is formed by levator ani.
Levator ani. It will have certain components which I will discuss later. Levator ani will have three components which we will discuss when we do perineum. Okay, now we are doing ureter. Common iliac, external iliac. These are all branches of internal iliac. That means it is crossing the branches of internal iliac vessels. Isn't it? The ureter. Okay. So you have superior vesical branch, inferior vesical branch, uterine branch. Isn't it? So many branches. Now see here, whatever I tried to tell you previously, see the second or oblique part in females. See, this is our ureter here. Okay, and what is the name of this artery here? Both are very dangerous. For gynecologists, it's true challenge. Okay, second are oblique part in females. Lower attached margin of this whole of the uterus is covered with in a peritoneum, which is actually called as broad ligament. Okay, inside the broad ligament only we will see ureter and uterine artery. Okay, so uterine artery crosses above, you can see, and in front of the ureter. Okay, above and in front of the ureter like this. Okay, so initially like lateral to medial side. Okay, and then it is entering between the two layers of broad ligament. Its intention is to reach the urinary bladder. So it's taking its course like this. Okay. So second part is only like below you will have supporting ligaments, actually transverse cervical ligaments at the level of cervix. Suppose this is the cervix. Here we have one ligament. Here we have. See, this is cervix. Here one ligament is there. Here one ligament is there. That ligament which is running like this is McEnroe's ligament or transverse cervical ligaments. So this I will discuss when I am doing uterus, but just to understand the course, so many relations are there in the pelvic part of the ureter. Below this area is actually the whitish connection you are finding. No, this is actually McEnroe's ligament, also called as transverse cervical ligament. That means it is running over the transverse cervical. This ureter is running over the transverse cervical ligaments, also called as McEnroe's ligaments. Then it will be entering in the lateral fornix of vagina. That means lower down it goes, it crosses the uterine artery. Okay, like that. It's difficult course only, beta, but once you do, like see in the dissection hall, it becomes very clear. Okay, female, see the course, this is the fundus of the uterus, this is the cervix of the uterus, this is the vagina. Okay, So the course of the ureter here is supravaginal part. Actually, it is like this. Okay, that means the course of the ureter is following like this. Okay, it is moving in front of the vagina, anterior vaginal wall. It moves like this. Okay,
Mm.
so the course is like this. Okay, only difficult, we should not get confused. We should be careful not to ligate the uterine artery instead of the ureter. That is okay. Like during surgeries, we should ligate uterine artery, not ligate the ureter. That is important. So this is the interior of urinary bladder. I told you we have so many mucosal folds and two ureteric openings, ureteric orifice, isn't it? What is the name of this bar of Mercier or interureteric ridge? When the bladder is empty, the distance between the two ureteric openings is usually 2.5 centimeters. Okay. When the bladder is full, it will be stretched, and the length between the two ureters will be 5 centimeters. Okay, that we will discuss when we do the interior of urinary bladder. This I told you previously immediately, no, but like constrictions. Meghana, you were there when I told constrictions? Meghana is with us, right? Okay, one is at the pelviureteric junction, I said. And second, I told you where it is crossing the common iliacs or external iliac. Third, I told you when it is piercing the bladder wall. Okay. Arterial supply also we have just discussed. We have seen the anastomosis. Veins will correspond to the arteries. Whatever names you write for the arteries, you just take it in reverse direction. Okay, that means what are the common iliac vein, internal iliac, external common iliac veins will drain into inferior vena cava. Gonadal vein, renal vein, nearby veins. Okay, they will drain into inferior vena cava. So I told you on either side, either lumbar group of lymph nodes, they can be also called as para-aortic on either side of
Para-aortic.
para-aortic. Okay, common iliac, external and internal iliac. Upper part is related to para-aortic. Middle part is related to common iliac. Lower part is related to external and internal iliac. Coming to nerve supply, we have sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic nerve supply comes from T12 to L1, spinal segments. So whatever plexuses you are finding here, these are actually renal plexus, aortic plexus, hypogastric plexus. This itself is again separate lecture, like we have splanchnic nerves. Okay, before we finish abdomen, last few chapters, we will elaborate on all these nerves. For now, you just remember the names. Parasympathetic nerves, it is not vagus, you see. Remember, in the pelvic region, we do not have vagus nerve. Instead, we have sacral nerves, S2 to S4 spinal segments. Only till thorax and abdomen we have vagus. Blindly, we cannot write vagus here. Okay? So that is all about ureter. Hope you understood? Okay, to summarize, I told you it's overall 25 centimeters, length 3 mm in breadth. It has pelvis part, abdominal part, and pelvic part. Everywhere I asked you to read the relations. What are the relations anteriorly? Right it is different, left it is different. When you come to the pelvic course, we have first part, second part, and third part. First part was moving across the greater sciatic notch. No? Second part was going towards the urinary bladder. Third part was piercing the wall of the urinary bladder. All these three parts with, in females, what are the relations? In males, what are the relations? We should be very clear. Okay. Now, coming to the applied anatomy, see, mobilize. Yes.
Doubt, ma'am. Ureter has got three parts, like pelvis part and abdominal and niche ka.
Pelvic.
So
pelvic cavity,
yeah,
pelvic
part. Yes, ma'am. So you said the nervous supply is by the sacral nerves. So, but the ureter, it is extending from the pelvis part, no, ma'am. So the vagus supplies the upper part of it, or the entire nervous supply is by sacral only.
The entire nerve supply of ureter comes from here only. The parasympathetic signals are coming from S2 to S4.
Okay.
Pelvic splanchnic nerves only will supply. Okay. So now see here, mobilization of, and that too it is forming all longitudinal anastomosis. So branches we
Okay.
know they are forming so much. So surgeon should be like when you are doing any surgery, we should be very careful not to strip the fascia, because within the fascia only we have all longitudinal anastomosis of the blood vessels. So suppose if we are not being very tender, that's why you do dissection thoroughly. So automatically you will become very good surgeons. Okay. So that is. So, like we should be very careful to handle the fascia when we are doing any abdominal surgeries, because if these blood vessels, if they are ruptured, it will cause necrosis. Okay. See, renal calculus. We know the constrictions, no? So in the ureteric constrictions, calculus means stone. Okay, beta? Stone. So the stones, the risk of these stones getting lodged is the three constrictions we have. That is the pelviureteric junction, the crossing of common or external iliac, and the piercing of bladder wall, where we have the lumen. As such, the lumen is 3 mm only. But this in constriction areas, we will see it becomes more narrowed. Okay, and these are the areas where the stones can get lodged easily and they can get stuck over there. Okay, so that means this is colic. Colic means what? Pain. Okay, whenever a person has these stones in the ureter, usually there will be referred pain. Okay, so where not only like T12 to L2 segments, that means it will be seen in the loin region, that is back, groin region, that is above the inguinal ligament. Okay, and these are the areas supplied by T12 to L2. That's why not only, that means the pain of the ureteric stones is felt in loin, groin, in case of males in the scrotal sacs, and in case of females it is labia majora, external genitalia of female. Okay, so this is all referred pain. Okay, and I have elaborated each referred pain. Okay, see, this is loin region, this is groin region, scrotum. It is just referred like this. Okay. This is referred pain. Which pain it is? Ureteric colic. That means ureteric stone. Okay. It is radiating like this. So then I will show you with the help of diagram. See here. KUB is a popular type of radiographic picture we have. Generally, a radioactive dye will be injected either through intravenous route or through urethra. So we have ascending pylography and descending pylography. I'll show you. See here. So before I go into that, see, can you see the shadows of kidney over here? This is the shadow of kidney. And here you will have bladder, but here dye is not there. Of course, dye is seen only in the kidney area. Now see here, can you see something obstruction over here? Actually, this is the course of ureter here, ureter, because this is the abdominal psoas major place, isn't it? So here you are finding one obstruction. Can you see calcified areas here also? Okay, that means abdominal part and pelvic part of the ureter, where we have constrictions or the narrowing part, there we are finding the stones are lodged. Here also you are finding. Okay, this type of like calcifications, we can just guess it may be due to stones. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the pelvic brim area. Beneath the pelvic artery, uterine artery also, the place where it is entering into the urinary bladder, there also we may have stones. Okay. Now see here, points where ureter crosses iliac vessels. So there, see, there is lot of risk. I told you dangerous site during hysterectomy. So because the ureter is crossing the uterine artery, I told you hysterectomy is
Removal of uterus.
removal of uterus. What should we ligate? What should we tight?
Uterine artery.
But what is very closely crossing it?
Ureter.
But instead of tying the uterine artery, you are tying ureter. Is there any danger while doing surgery?
Yes.
There will be heavy bleeding. Artery is not ligated, so heavy bleeding, isn't it?
Yes.
So that is, we should be very careful to tie the uterine artery. Okay, so this was the picture what I was trying to tell you. Okay, so when ureter is cut at the lower level, so generally that means if, in case of any cancers or if there is any trauma or injury, different types of entry point we can start, a new point of entry we can choose. Okay, when ureter is cut at lower level accidentally, then it is directly transplanted to the bladder, or right ureter and left ureter can be directly connected like this. But if you still find difficult, you can directly connect the ureter to ileum or sigmoid colon. That means urine will come out through the rectum anal canal. Like nothing difficult. What is there? But anyhow, some excretory matter should come out. In case of some emergencies, we can follow this route also. Okay. So usually stricture means what? If the after surgery, whatever we have done, whatever suture points we have used, if they become narrowed and if they become obliterated, closed, generally we use the word stricture. So following these surgeries, strictures can happen. Okay. So this is the stent which is usually. Stent is like an instrument which is actually moved like this in order to check where is exactly the obstruction because of renal stones or ureteric stones, and with the help of these stents we can like mobilize it and we can remove it. Okay, that is drainage. In case of obstruction of the kidney, an internal drainage tube like stent we can use. Okay, in order to temporarily relieve, that means if any stone is there or if any tumor is there, if any obstruction is there because of which urine is unable to move to urinary bladder, you can keep stents like this. Okay, for blood vessels also we keep stents, isn't it? In case of atherosclerosis and arteriosclerosis, I've shown you in coronary circulation stents. Similarly, this is a stent which is used in case of obstruction in the urinary system, like this. It looks something like a mesh hollow tube, flexible plastic material. Okay. This is pylography. You see, you will learn more. Pylogram means what? You are injecting a radioactive dye either through the vein or through the urethra. If you inject through urethra, you call it as ascending pylography. The dye is moving up. If you are choosing vein, median cubital vein, and you are injecting the dye, then through blood circulation, you will see the filling of dye first into minor calyces, then into major calyx, then into pelvis, then into the ureter, abdominal part, pelvic part, and all. Okay, so that is descending pyelogram. Are you understanding? When you choose venous route, it is descending pylography. When you choose urethra route, then it is ascending pylography. Am I clear, Hansraj?
Yes, ma'am.
समझ में आ रहा ना? Pylography. So that means we are taking the abdominal X-ray, okay, by making use of some radioactive dye. Okay. Can you see the screen, pyelogram? Hansraj? Can you see
Yes.
pyelogram दिखाई दे रहा है screen पे?
Heading.
So you are taking the X-ray of abdomen by making use of some radioactive dye like iodine compounds. Okay. So it will be asked in Viva, especially in Apollo. We have this. I don't know about other colleges. This pyelogram very popular. In one X-ray only, we have around 10 small segments where you have filling of this radioactive dye. Okay. So that is pylography. Descending pylography, where you are using intravenous route. Ascending pylography, where you are injecting dye directly through the urethra. Okay. Ascending is this, descending is through blood. Okay. So these are the major and minor calyces which got filled with this radioactive dye like iodine. Okay. and share this PowerPoint. You will nicely read. Okay, slowly you will understand. So this is, can you see this dye which has filled this? Yes. Ritika, this is pelvis. This is right ureter, left ureter. You know, this is the pelvic part of the ureter. What is this? Bag filled with so much of dye, urinary bladder. Okay. Major calyces, minor calyces. Okay, pelvis of the ureter, everything. Okay, this is pylography. Development I will discuss later. So in developmental anomalies, you may find double ureter. Okay, so ureter will have so many variations. Okay, hope you understood.